as announced in the budget of 2025-2026 for the period 1st of October 2025 to 29th of July 2026. The total VAT revenue collected from newly VAT registered entities amounts to 655 million rupees. The number of new VAT registration is 8,764, and the number of VAT deregistrations is 84. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the VAT registration threshold was at 2 million from the 1st of October 2006 to 31st of March 2013. The VAT threshold was then raised to 4 million on the 1st of April 2013 to June 2015.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Next question then. Honorable second member for Vieux-Grand-Port.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is question B/1209, please.
Madam Speaker, we already have an established mortgage and housing finance market in Mauritius. Individuals and businesses can obtain long-term financing from lending institutions, including commercial banks, insurance companies, and the Mauritius Housing Company Limited, to purchase, to construct, or to improve properties such as land and buildings. The properties themselves serve as security for the loans. Such properties are generally intended for personal use or owner occupation, although some may also be rented. A buy-to-let mortgage is a different segment of an advanced housing finance market. It follows the same basic model as the traditional mortgage market, but the purpose is different. The borrower purchases a property primarily to rent it out and earn rental income rather than to occupy it himself. Under such a financing arrangement, the lending institutions takes into consideration, among other factors, the expected rental income generated by the property to determine the borrower's repayment capacity and the amount of financing that may be granted. Such products can contribute to broadening access to rental accommodation, encouraging private investment in housing, and diversifying the range of mortgage products available on the market. However, they may also give rise to risk relating to higher household indebtedness, increased exposure of the financial institutions to the real estate sector, and the potential speculative pressures on residential property prices. As regards to Part A of the question, Madam Speaker, the introduction of specific mortgage products, including buy-to-let loans, is primarily a commercial decision for banks and other eligible financial institutions. It depends on the market demand and the perceived risk involved and the internal credit policies. I'm informed by the Bank of Mauritius that the existing regulatory framework enables banks to offer such products to their customers. However, a buy-to-let mortgage market may require a more conservative loan-to-value ratio in order to address risk from this market. Thus, borrowers will have to contribute more of their funds, with the lenders financing a smaller share of the property's value. In addition, because buy-to-let mortgages are considered riskier, banks may charge higher costs for these loans, making them more expensive for customers. Regarding Part B of the question, I'm further informed by the Bank of Mauritius that the banking sector has not approached the bank with regard to the lending based on the equity of existing residential properties and the income-generating potential of investments. In the event of such a proposal, the bank will study all the aspects of these types of lending arrangements before determining the appropriate regulatory framework, if any. In particular, the bank will look into the associated risk, the prudential requirements, impact on the financial stability, and the need for appropriate regulatory safeguards. Concerning Part C of the question, any changes to the mortgage lending framework would need to carefully balance the objective on enhancing access to housing finance with the need to safeguarding borrowers, depositors, and the overall stability of the financial system. In this regard, consideration would need to be given to the possible impact of additional credit growth on residential properties, household debt levels, and housing affordability. While buy-to-let mortgages can support investment and rental housing supply, that development should be pursued prudently, balancing improved access to finance and housing affordability and financial stability. Madam Speaker, government remains open to innovation in real estate financing to support the development of a modern, efficient, and diversified mortgage and credit market that meet the evolving needs of households, investors, and the wider economy.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honorable Prime Minister for the reply. Can the Honorable Prime Minister also inform the House as to whether the government will be willing to evaluate aspects of the United Kingdom experience, who has been highly successful in implementing the buy-to-let mortgage, and if those measures, similar measures, could be adapted in Mauritius?
As I said, Madam Speaker, government is keeping an open mind, but the Bank of Mauritius say they have not been approached for such a framework, but they will consider it if they apply.
Thank you. Yes. Honorable First Member for Vapa-Fleuria.
B12, s'il vous plaît.
Madam Speaker, my reply to parliamentary question B 1081 of Tuesday, the 21st of July, 2026, announced that a project monitoring and implementation unit will be set up shortly under the aegis of my office. The House will agree, Madam Speaker, that over the years, Mauritius has reached a stage of economic development where the principal challenge is no longer the formulation of policy, but its effective execution. A recurring feature of many strategic national initiatives is that they are announced with clear objectives, but often experience delays arising from a fragmented institutional responsibilities, lengthy administrative procedures, insufficient interministerial coordination, regulatory bottlenecks, and the absence of a single authority responsible for monitoring delivery across government. Madam Speaker, for far too long, institutions have operated as if in silos, instead of adopting a coordinated approach to project implementation. Furthermore, we are aware that in the past, there were instances of collusion between consultants and contractors, resulting not only in delay of implementation, but also cost overrun. The Project Monitoring and Implementation Unit will have a clear mandate to coordinate, monitor, accelerate the implementation of government priorities through integrated planning, evidence-based decision-making, institutional collaboration, and rigorous performance management. This will ensure that the principles of value for money is stringently adhered to when implementing major infrastructural projects. This unit will report directly to me and would be expected to submit regular reports on the status of the implementation of the infrastructural projects. Madam Speaker, consultations are already underway for the selection of a highly qualified professional with a view to ensuring that the unit will be manned by a proficient team with robust engineering background and proven track record in project management.
Thank you. Yes.
L'honorable Premier ministre, peut-il nous dire si cette unité aura un pouvoir décisionnel ou uniquement consultatif?
No decisional power, because he will be able to tell us where the bottlenecks is, where the delay or where the cost overrun are, and he will look at that.
Okay.
Est-ce qu'il pourrait nous donner l'estimation du coût annuel de cette unité?
At this stage, can
We have not yet proceeded with that, but we
Okay.
are looking for a professional from outside.
Okay, next question, Honorable Fourth Member.
B1211.
Madam Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed by the Commissioner of Prisons that from November 2024 to 29th of July 2026, a total of 579 mobile phones has been seen within the prison premises. And they are as follows: 41 mobile phones found on detainees, and 538 mobile phones were found within the prison premises other than on detainees. It was suspected that mobile phones had been used to commit criminal offense in 41 cases. These cases were reported to the police for inquiry, and the status of the police inquiries are as follows: 1 person has been charged and the matter is at court level. 5 cases have been filed and 35 cases are still under inquiry by police. Madam Speaker, with regard to part B of the question, I'm informed that by the Commissioner of Prisons that the following measures have been taken to prevent use and the possession of mobile phones within prison premises. 1, enhanced searches of detainees, prison officers, visitors, and vehicles. 2, regular intelligence-led searches by the prison's intelligence unit and the prison dog section. 3, the use of body scanners, baggage scanners, metal detectors, mobile phone detectors, anti-drone systems, and mobile phone jammers. 4, CCTV surveillance. 5, regular patrols, and 6, continuous training and sensitization of prison officers on security procedures. In addition, the Mauritius Prison Service is procuring additional security equipment to further strengthen prison security. The upgrading of the mobile phone jamming system at the Melrose Prison will be implemented shortly. The Mauritius Prison Service is also implementing anti-pelting netting in correctional facilities to prevent the introduction of contraband and enhance the safety and security of prison institutions. The Mauritius Prison Service will also procure a new anti-drone system by March of next year to detect and counter unauthorized drone activity, thereby further reinforcing the security of prison premises. I'm informed, Madam Speaker, that 1,362 mobile phones which have been seized by the Mauritius Prison Service over the period 2019 to 30th of June 2026 have been destroyed already.
Yes, one
Yeah, thank you.
question. Yeah.
If I may have to, Madam Speaker.
One for the moment.
Yes, the first question, Madam Speaker, with regards to mobile phone seized, I would like the Prime Minister to look into the fact that out of the 1,300 mobile phones that were seized, there were 284 SIM cards. Those have been destroyed, but no inquiry to determine who have procured these SIM cards. As we know, SIM cards have to be registered.
No, ask the question.
That is the question, whether he will look into it. I am informing him of the aggravating circumstances, which I am telling him now of this matter, that they have destroyed evidence.
Don't
but
repeat, don't repeat.
But, Madam Speaker, I need to make the question intelligible. You have interrupted me. I need to get back to where I was. So therefore, Madam Speaker, I will ask the Prime Minister to look into that. There may have been destruction of evidence which now cannot be used to prosecute, including eSIMs that were contained in this mobile phone. 300 physical SIM cards, the rest were eSIMs, now have completely been destroyed. Whether he will look into it.
I'm not aware whether that is the case, but I will certainly look into the matter.
Yes.
The second question, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Straightforward.
Yes,
question.
Madam Speaker, there is an issue with this matter. The figures, whether he will agree that there is something qui ne tourne pas rond. He has stated himself that only one person has been prosecuted. I know for a fact, Madam Speaker, and I would like to apprise the Prime Minister of saying that no inquiry is being made on who are procuring these SIM cards.
Okay, that is the question.
Whether he will urgently himself personally look into that. Something ne tourne pas rond ici.
Are you
Things
going-
ne tournent pas rond dans ce pays. But I did say that 35 cases are still under inquiry.
The issue is about procurement. So you will look into that.
Thank you.
Question.
Yes,
not-
the Prime Minister,
nothing
that
else.
is the question. Whether he will review urgently, he will speak to the Minister of ICT as well to review urgently the procedures for procuring of SIM cards and the procedures with regards to the prison service, that whenever a mobile phone is seized, an inquiry be initiated into the owner of that SIM card, the registered owner, because by law, there has to be a registered owner, and it cannot be that in 1,400 mobile phones, only one person has been prosecuted in 7 years.
Prime Minister, yes.
All I know, I can tell the honorable member, I will certainly look into the matter and I will ask the police to look into the matter.
Yes, and I want to tell members that I'm the one who decides how many supplementary are given, depending on the type of question. So no comments, please, on these things. The Honourable Third Member for Bobassin-Petite-Rivière.
1212, please.
Madam Speaker, I wish to draw the attention of the honorable member to the fact that since the beginning of 2025, there have been consultations between the parties in the government and the opposition to decide on the membership of various regional and international organizations to which Mauritius belongs. Various criteria have been taken into consideration, including the respect of proper party balance as well as the gender balance. In May 2025, the list was finalized. Ever since, members are aware that the procedure is as follows. Madam Speaker, you are the one who decides who will participate in which mission. The clerk of the National Assembly then seeks financial clearance for all overseas missions of honorable members, and I then approve our participation in a mission. Concerning the part of the question relating to any concern raised for the amendment of a Mauritian delegation, the honorable member knows very well that the Pan-African Parliament, PAP, did indeed raise an issue because according to the PAP, there was no member of the opposition in the delegation. I made a statement on the issue on the 25th of July 2025, and I also replied to a parliamentary question from Honorable Adrien Juvala on the 29th of July 2025. The latter had in fact been contacted, but initially did not wish to be part of the team. However, Honorable Adrien Juval finally agreed to join the team of 4 of the members. Therefore, all 5 honorable members took the oath before the PAP on the 28th of April 2026 at the extraordinary session of the 7th legislature of the PAP. Honorable Lakiram is now the chairperson of the Human Rights Committee of the PAP. The delegation attended the permanent committee and the 3rd ordinary session of the 7th legislature of the PAP and are now back.
Thank you.
Merci.
Yes.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je remercie l'honorable Premier ministre pour sa réponse, surtout concernant le Parlement panafricain, et cela nous conforte au niveau de l'opposition, de façon à ce que finalement, Madame la Présidente, on a inclus un membre de l'opposition comme on le préconisait nous-mêmes au départ.
I want a question from you.
Oui, j'arrive, Madame la Présidente. Madame la Présidente, cela a toujours été la pratique selon laquelle les membres des délégations soient désignés. Je suis obligé de commencer la question par ça.
Non,
vous allez comprendre après pourquoi.
Mais non, posez la question, whether, ceci, cela, et puis vous allez dire.
Les délégations sont désignées par le Premier ministre pour le gouvernement et par le leader de l'opposition pour l'opposition. Peut-on savoir pourquoi le gouvernement actuel, contrairement à ce que l'honorable Premier ministre a affirmé, le gouvernement actuel fait fi de cette pratique, ignore complètement cette pratique et que le leader de l'opposition n'est jamais consulté, bafouant ainsi les règles d'une vraie démocratie parlementaire ainsi que le principe de représentation pluraliste.
I totally reject what the honorable member is saying. We always consult, as said in my paper. In fact, as you know, I just mentioned that honorable, you were 2 members in the opposition at the time. We lost them, but what can I do?
Yes, Honorable First Member for Vacqua-Floréal. First Member for Vacqua-Floréal.
B1214.
I just announced that 1213 has been withdrawn. Yes.
1214 has been reported.
Yes, 1213, 14 now, 14 now. 1214 now. Yes.
Madam Speaker, in my reply to parliamentary question B319 on Tuesday, the 14th of April 2026, I informed the House that I shall propose a motion in the National Assembly for the setting up of a select committee that will be tasked to submit a report on the introduction of Créole Mauricien in the National Assembly. Madam Speaker, the motion is on the order paper of the National Assembly today.
Yes. Be careful because you will be able to talk later on.
Est-ce que l'honorable Premier ministre pourrait-il déposer le rapport soumis par la Speaker sur la table de l'Assemblée, étant donné que je lui avais demandé lors de ma dernière question parlementaire, il m'avait dit qu'il fallait que ce soit circulé d'abord au cabinet. Est-ce que maintenant il pourrait le déposer, s'il vous plaît?
I understand from the Madam Speaker that the report will be circulated to the select committee first and then.
That is true. We will have time to talk about all this in the afternoon. Yes, Honourable Fourth Member for Port-Louis North,
Yes,
please.
B1215.
Question? Yes.
Madam Speaker, the House may recall that the post of junior minister was created in 1996 through an amendment of the Constitution of Mauritius. The principle underpinning the creation of the post of junior minister is that junior ministers assist the respective ministers towards the achievement of national objectives. By helping with the implementation and monitoring of ministerial decisions, they contribute to national development and government's vision. However, Madam Speaker, with the evolution of the Mauritian society, national realities and priorities are constantly changing, and the role of the elected public officials as well as their responsibilities will have to be reviewed. Consideration is being given to reverting to the PPS system, but it's just consideration.
Speaker.
Yes, one
Firstly,
question.
will the Prime Minister agree, first of all, that the junior minister model has not yielded the
You're
result?
asking for his opinion.
No. Will he agree? Sir, it's a fact, statement of fact. Will he agree with my statement that the junior ministers have not yielded the results intended? In fact, it has been more of a source of problem between minister and junior minister, because fundamentally their role is not made by law. They have no official responsibility. Et dépendent du bon vouloir de leur ministre. Sports, tourism, and gender is but a few examples. Therefore, would it not be better
You've asked the
and
question
in the public
already.
interest that
Don't
he now
repeat.
reviews it, a system that has proven not to work?
You've already said, you repeat quite a lot. That was that was your question. So you're repeating your question. Yes, Prime
I don't
Minister.
agree that junior ministers didn't achieve anything. This is not actual, but there are, I agree with you. There have been some conflicts between junior ministers and ministers. But we are, I said, considering reviewing that.
Will the Prime Minister agree that contrary to private parliamentary secretaries?
He just told you that
But
they're
let me ask my
considering.
question, Madam Speaker. You cannot answer for the Prime Minister.
I'm not answering.
But I'm asking my question. What is your problem? I asked my question.
Don't abuse. That's
I am
all
not
I'm-
abusing. I am asking whether he will agree that private parliamentary secretaries are designated to two constituencies and have a clearly defined role assisting the Minister of the Road Development Authority. However, junior ministers have no defined role. Therefore, will the Prime Minister, in considering whether or not to review the system, he will at least consider defining their roles? That is what I am asking.
Okay.
Whether you will consider in the meantime to define their roles clearly.
Okay.
Answered that question.
Simple answer.
I just
Yes.
answered. We are considering.
Yes, that is it. Now we finished because B1216 was also withdrawn. So now we go to questions. On the point of? Yes?
Suite aux discussions qui ont eu lieu vendredi lors des débats du
Oui,
Finance
je
Bill,
vais revenir
est-ce
là-dessus
que
tout
vous
à l'heure.
m'autorisez à faire mon point
Pas
of
tout de suite,
explanation?
pas maintenant, pas maintenant, pas maintenant.
D'accord.
J'ai l'intention de revenir là-dessus tout à l'heure. Mais non, quand même. Faut pas me prendre pour... Bon, allez. Questions addressed. We haven't finished with questions. Questions addressed to honorable ministers. Yes? Honorable second member for Vieux-Grand-Port.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's question B/1217, please.
Madam Speaker, the Rosebell area is served primarily by the Phoenix Pleasance Road, A10, which passes through the densely developed village of Rosebell and carries significant volumes of through traffic. The Jawaharlal Nehru Link Road B134 provides a strategic connection between the M1 motorway and the A10. On market days, the concentration of commercial activities attracts a large number of visitors, resulting in severe traffic congestion on the A10 road and surrounding roads. In addition, vehicles are frequently parked along the motorway shoulders and adjoining roads, creating safety hazards, reducing road capacity, and impeding the smooth flow of traffic. Madam Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed by the Road Development Authority that the Rosebell region is a highly built-up rural area with residential, commercial, and other development lining both sides of the main road. As a result, there is very limited road reserve available for widening or upgrading the existing road network. Therefore, conventional road expansion is not a feasible solution to address the traffic congestion in the area. Nonetheless, I'm informed by the Traffic Management and Road Safety Unit that double yellow lines and yellow boxes already exist along the A10 road on both sides in Rosebel village. Madam Speaker, as regards part B of the question, I'm informed by the TRMSU that several vehicles are being parked on the acceleration lane leading to the south, especially during market days. There is already double yellow lines along Guaduazo Road on both sides leading to the market. I'm also informed that the police are deployed during market days, namely Wednesdays and Sundays, from 8 hours to 1600 hours to ensure traffic fluidity, safety and security of the public. Point duties are maintained near the corner of Guaduazo Street and Jawaharlal Nehru Link Road, as well as at the entrance of the market near the taxi stand and commercial center. I'm further informed by the District Council of Grand Port that 320 parking spaces are presently available at the Dr. James Bertie David Market Fair, and that an additional 45 parking spaces have also been provided. Madam Speaker, there is indeed a problem of traffic congestion and unsafe parking in the Rosebel area, particularly on market days, which needs to be addressed. I will therefore liaise with my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Land Transport, with a view to convening a meeting with all the relevant stakeholders, including the 3 members of the National Assembly of the constituency, to examine the matter and identify appropriate measures to alleviate traffic congestion and improve road safety in the area.
Yes.
I thank the Honorable Minister for the reply. Can the Honorable Minister also inform the House whether a traffic impact assessment has been carried out for the Rosebel Market and Fair Days? And if not, whether one will be commissioned?
So what I can add, Honorable Member, let's have the meeting with the MPs and all the stakeholders of, which are concerned there. I'll fix it next week, then we'll meet and discuss all possible avenues.
Honorable members, will you please excuse me? I will ask the Deputy Speaker to take the chair. I have some urgent matters to attend to. Thank you.
The Honorable Third Member for Vieux-Grand Port, Rosebel.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. PQB 12.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the reply will be circulated.
Yes. The Honorable Second Member for Savannah Black River.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, B 1219, please.
Thank you very much. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the Pleasance Experiment Station, which operates under the agricultural services of my ministry, has a crop station in the vicinity of the Sir Siusaga Ramgulam International Airport. It has a total surface area of 7.54 hectares, comprising roads and buildings, mother orchards, and cultivated land. I'm informed that the station is managed by an agricultural support officer under the overall supervision of an assistant director, and is supported by a workforce of 25 employees, including 8 general workers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed of the agricultural services that 4.7 hectares devoted to the mother orchards fulfill a strategic national role. They are used for the conservation of local and introduced fruit genetic resources, the maintenance of a true-to-type buffer plant, and the production of quality planting materials. These are propagated and made available at subsidized prices to the Berkeley Experiment Station to farmers and members of the public, thereby supporting orchard establishment, varietal diversification, and the sustainable development of the fruit sector. In respect of Part B of the question, I'm informed that the Pleasance Experiment Station conserves 13 fruit species, namely local varieties of coconut, mango, breadfruit, fructifère, bilimbi, together with introduced varieties of lychees, pomegranate, mangosteen, longan, date palm, banana guava, and passion fruit. The station undertakes research evaluation and propagation to improve planting materials, while trials are being conducted to assess the adaptability and performance of imported varieties under local climatic conditions before the wider recommendation to the planters. I also wish to inform the House that research and development activities at the station have led to the identification and propagation of improved food varieties with desirable agronomic and horticultural characteristics, including the FHIA 17 banana variety, which is resistant to banana wilt disease. These efforts have contributed to improve fruit quality, increase productivity, and enhance shelf life and greater resilience to local pests, diseases, and climatic conditions, thereby supporting sustainable fruit production and strengthening national and food and nutrition security. Regarding Part C, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the Agricultural Services that from 2020 to June 2026, the Pleasance Experiment Station generated revenue of 178 rupees 495 from the sale of 1,549 planting materials comprising coconut, breadfruit, bilimbi, pistas malgache, and 250,640 rupees from the sale of fruits, namely coconut, banana, mango, breadfruit, fructifère, and bilimbi. I wish to emphasize that the Pleasance Experiment Station is not a profit-making entity. It is a strategic public research and conservation facility whose primary mandate is to conserve fruit genetic resources, undertake research, and produce quality planting materials at subsidized rates for the benefit of fruit growers, home gardeners, educational institutions, and other stakeholders, while contributing to government's objective of food security, agricultural diversification, and a more competitive food sector. For several decades, the station has supported beneficiaries across Mauritius through the production and distribution of quality planting materials, facilitating the establishment of healthier and more productive orchards. It also continues to serve as a national repository of fruit genetic resources, underpinning research, innovation, and long-term development of the horticultural sector. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed that since 2020, the station has supported more than 1,200 individual farmers and members of the public in setting up fruit plantation covering a total area of 8 hectares in different localities of the island. These plantations are expected to yield 40,000 coconut fruits, 100 tons of breadfruit, 10 tons of bilimbi fruit, and 2 tons of pistachio nuts annually, thereby improving food security. Furthermore, my ministry is preparing an action plan to address the challenges facing the Pleasance Experiment Station, including improvements to water storage infrastructure, irrigation system, and staffing capacity, with a view to strengthening its research, conservation, and propagation functions. Finally, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, In this context, the production of planting materials, including mango, coconut, breadfruit, pomegranate, passion fruit, papaya, and lychee, is expected to increase from approximately 500 plants in financial year 2025-2026 to 2,000 plants in 2026-27, and at least 4,000 plants in 27-2028. This expansion will enable the ministry to make improved planting materials more widely available, strengthen national food production, and enhance food security and food and nutrition security.
Yes.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, can the Minister inform the House whether the model is successful? If yes, can we move to other regions?
Well, what I say was meant for the ears, not only your ears, for the ears of everybody. As we say, it's a long, long way to Tipperary, and we are walking the talk.
The Honorable Second Member for Flacquet-Bouracaï.
Oui, Monsieur le Vice-président. B1220, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the Pont-Bon-Dieu Road B96 extends from its junction with the Brise-Verdier, Saint-Julien, Constance Road B23 at Belvedere, passing through Pont-Bon-Dieu and Salazie to its junction with the B49 road near La Nicolière. I'm informed by the Road Development Authority that the road has an approximate total length of 5.3 kilometers and varies in width along its alignment as follows. From the junction with the B49 road at Salazie to Boiserie Déco Limité, the road generally consists of 2 traffic lanes with an approximate carriageway width of 9 meters. However, there is an approximate 300 meters section where the width narrows to about 5 meters. Second, from Boiserie Déco Limité to Pont-Bon-Dieu Cave, over an approximate length of 700 meters, the road has an average width of 5 meters. Third, the Pont-Bon-Dieu Cave, the road consists of 2 traffic lanes with an approximate total width of 6 kilometers. And fourth, from Pont-Bon-Dieu Cave to the build-up area towards Belvedere, the road has an approximate width of 5 meters. Madam Speaker, following an assessment of the existing road geometry, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, following an assessment of the existing road geometry during daily inspections, the RDA has identified the following sections for widening. First, between the junction with the B49 road and Boiserie Déco Limité, of an approximate length of 300 meters. Second, from Boiserie Déco Limité to Pont-Bon-Dieu Cave, of an approximate length of 700 meters. And third, the Pont-Bon-Dieu Cave towards Belvedere, of an approximate length of 1.2 kilometers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, conscious that the road is being heavily used by motorists traveling from the east to access the motorway M3, there is need to widen some parts of the road to accommodate the increasing volume of traffic and improve the traffic flow there. Accordingly, a detailed survey is expected to start by mid-August 2026 to determine the scope of the required works. The survey is expected to take between 6 and 8 weeks, depending on access to the land. Based on the findings of the survey, a detailed road design and cost estimate will be prepared. Thereafter, financial clearance will be sought based on the estimated project cost. Once financial clearance is obtained, the land acquisition process will be initiated, and upon completion of same, the road works will be implemented.
Yes.
Yes, may I request the Honorable Minister that the 300-meter strip between Aubuy and Boiserie Déco is already on state land and perhaps doesn't require compulsory acquisition or way leave. So can at least this strip in the meantime be accelerated? And may I please request the Honorable Minister to look into the possibility of installing street lights along this strip, which is now almost known as the Autoroute de l'Est.
As regard to the first part of your question, if ever this is the case, I will request the RDA to undertake the work if it's 300 meter, and if land is there, if it's state land, so necessary, I'll ask RDA to do the needful. As far as street lighting, obviously, I know the road very well because it needs street lighting. We'll see how we'll proceed with that, if funds are available.
Honorable First Member for Wapa-Royal.
B1221, s'il vous plaît.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to inform the House that the Mauritius Educational Development Company Limited, Medco Limited, is a state-owned company operating under the aegis of my ministry since 1993. It is entrusted with the management of two institutions, namely Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School and Medco Agalega Secondary School. The honorable member wishes to know whether the post of manager of Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School is currently being held by an officer of my ministry as an interim measure. The answer is yes, as an interim measure. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed that the appointment is neither unusual nor irregular. It is fully in line with the long-established practice of the board of Medco Limited, where one of its directors is designated to serve as manager of Medco School. This arrangement has been consistently adopted because the recruitment of a full-time manager would impose a significant financial burden on Medco Limited, having regard to its current financial conditions. Accordingly, in February 2026, the board designated one of its directors, who also serves as an assistant secretary in my ministry, to perform the functions of manager of Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School. The appointment was duly registered with the PSEA in accordance with established requirements. In the past, two officers holding the grade of Principal Assistant Secretary, now restyled Deputy Permanent Secretary, which is higher than the grade of Assistant Secretary, serve as managers of Medco schools. One officer served as manager of Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School from 2010 to April 2012, while another served as manager of Medco Trinity Secondary School from 2010 to 31st December 2015. There is, therefore, nothing new or unusual in an officer serving as administrative grade at my ministry. In addition, the managerial grant allocated by the PSEA for the post amounts to 40,530 rupees monthly. However, the manager of Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School is presently being paid only 11,730 monthly, with the balance being utilized for other school-related works. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to make it absolutely clear that the present appointment is an interim administrative arrangement intended to ensure continuity in leadership, sound governance, and effective oversight pending the recruitment of a substantive administrative manager of Medco Limited. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, far from being a nominal appointment, the present arrangement has already resulted in tangible and measurable improvements in the administration of Medco Alex Boudjouari Secondary School. This is part of the second part of the question by the honorable member. First, the manager has facilitated inspections by the PSEA in relations to health and safety requirements with a view to improving the working and learning environment at school. Second, great emphasis has been placed on staff discipline and attendance. During a site visit undertaken some months ago, the manager observed that a few non-teaching employees who were required to report for duty at 7:30 a.m. were arriving between 8:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. Monitoring arrangements have since then been strengthened, and an electronic attendance system is being introduced to further reinforce accountability and punctuality. Third, the manager reviewed the duties performed by a chemistry educator, drawing a monthly salary of 80,593. It was found that the officer was carrying out duties that were not corresponding with the
You have already answered the question. You are going outside the question. The reply now. The question was clear whether.
So the second part, the reasons
I was secretary or his ministry and statewide. Thank you.
Merci. Le problème étant, l'honorable ministre peut-il expliquer à la Chambre comment est-ce que concrètement, dans la pratique, le managing director peut répondre aux sollicitations des officiers de l'école dans les heures de travail, alors qu'il est, pendant ces heures-là, au ministère en tant qu'assistant permanent secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to inform the Honorable Member, for managers in general, for managers, I'm not talking about rector or deputy rector, managers, this happens in private secondary schools also. It is not mandatory for the manager to be full-time on the site. As and when needed, requested by teaching on teaching staff, the manager can respond to the duties.
Okay.
Est-ce que l'honorable ministre n'y voit-il pas un conflit d'intérêts? Parce que s'il y a des doléances de la part des professeurs ou des officiers de l'école concernant la gestion de l'école, le managing director siège aussi sur le board de Medco et donc il serait juge et partie. Est-ce qu'il n'y voit pas un conflit d'intérêts?
For your information, Honorable Member, any manager in the past has to be appointed from one of the interim, I'm saying, has to be appointed from one of the board members. Okay? And in this case, there is no conflict of interest. On the contrary, I was enumerating, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, how this person helped for better management of the school, because we have only 101 students in that school, for your information.
The Honorable Third Member for Vieux-Grand-Port, Roswell.
Merci, Monsieur le Vice-président. PQ B1222.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to part A, one of the question, I'm informed by the MSO that there's currently one veterinary surgeon operating at the society. Of course, following implementation of recommendation of PRB, the scheme of service for posts of veterinary officers being reviewed to ensure that it is aligned with the operational requirement of MSO. Consequently, the society will produce with the necessary recruitment exercises, including the filling of vacant posts in accordance with the approved procedures and subject to the availability of resources. As regard part A2 of the question, I'm informed that since January 2025 to date, approximately 8,000 dogs have been sterilized under the Sustainable Project for Dog Population in Mauritius. Now, this has been achieved through strong synergy between public and private sectors, with private veterinary surgeons actively collaborating under an MOU signed between both parties to support the implementation of the project. The mass sterilization program remains one of the key pillars of government strategy to achieve sustainable reduction in this stray dog population, promote responsible pet ownership, and enhancement animal welfare. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, concerning part B1 of the question, I wish to inform the House that for financial year 2026-27, an amount of 20 million has been earmarked for the sterilization program under the control of stray dogs. The allocated budget will support the continuation and expansion of free sterilization services throughout the island. With regard to part B2 of the question, it is to be noted that MSO is implementing and strengthening several measures to promote the nationwide mass sterilization program for financial year 2026-2027. The society, in collaboration with the local authorities, establishing a structured calendar of mass sterilization campaign across the island. This coordinated approach will ensure that sterilization campaigns are conducted on a regular basis at several regions of the island, thereby facilitating easy access to free sterilization services to the public. The MSO will continue to deploy its mobile sterilization caravan to extend free sterilization services to communities across the island. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in addition, sterilization program is currently being conducted through its mobile caravan at premises of police stations across the island and a collaborative arrangement with police department. This partnership has significantly enhanced the accessibility and reach of the program by providing suitable venues for the conduct of sterilization program. The mobile caravan enables MSO to bring its services closer to the communities, thereby improving geographical coverage, facilitating greater public participation, and ensuring the continuity and effectiveness of the nationwide mass sterilization program. Furthermore, MSO continues to sensitize public on the importance of sterilization, responsible pet ownership, and compulsory dog registration. These awareness initiatives, together with the ongoing catch-neuter release program, form part of the integrated and sustainable strategy aimed at achieving effective and humane dog population management in Mauritius.
Yes, Honorable Ramdas.
Thank you, Mr. the Deputy Speaker. In view of the growing number of stray dogs in Mauritius, I understand that the government of Mauritius has received a proposal for help from an international organization, namely the IAWPC, International Animal Coalition for Massive Sterilization in Mauritius. Would the Honorable Minister state whether consideration has been given to this, and if not, why not?
I'm not going to stray in relation to the question put to me by the Honorable Member, but will consider any information which is relevant to improve the services being dispensed by us.
Honorable Second Member for Savannah River.
To four.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Government remains fully committed to reforming the local government system with the objective of strengthening decentralization, enhancing the administrative and financial autonomy of local authorities, improving service delivery, and ensuring that local communities benefit from more efficient, accountable, and responsive local governance. In this regard, the two matters raised by the Honourable Member form an integral part of the ongoing local government reform being examined by the Interministerial Committee established by Cabinet. The committee has made substantial progress and has reached broad agreement on the main policy directions of the reform. It is currently finalizing its recommendation, which will be submitted to Cabinet for consideration. Following Cabinet approval and the completion of the legislative drafting by the Attorney General's Office, I will be in a better position to inform the House of the detailed measures and legislative provisions that will give effect to these reforms.
Yes. You have a supplementary question? The Honorable Member, the table has been advised that PQ B1223 and 1229 have been withdrawn. I think it's a proper time to break for lunch. So we'll meet in 1.5 hours.